welcome to another tutorial with me. My name is Crafty JoJo, and today I want to show you how I made this beautiful card. So it comes in a box, which is of course tailor-made for this card, and it is something special because it's made from printed acetate, and it has a winter theme. So this acetate is printed with snowflakes, and I've die cut certain elements like snowflakes, made a flower from it, made a frame, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. So what you will need is a piece of like your card base, which is 5 inches by 7, so 5 by 7. So cut a piece of white cardstock 10 inches by 7, score in half, and you have a card base 5 by 7. You will need some sort of designer paper for your background. This one, as you can see, still needs to be inked up. Stampin' Up has had some similar stuff. This one is not a Stampin' Up one. This one actually is from a competing business, but this is what I used, so I'm going to use this piece here as well. So I'm going to ink this up with bluish and with my ink pads, really blue and green tones, soft pastel colors. You will need your 7-inch by 7-inch piece of acetate, and you score at 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if you can see it. There's already, the score line is already in here. There you go. So a quarter, no, sorry, what did I score here? I don't know, 7 or half an inch. Sorry, not 1/4 of an inch, half an inch. So you score half an inch here, half an inch there, and that gives you that dome shape later on. And I've already pre-scored this. What you will need is, for the frame, you will need a set of dies that somehow create this shape. I have used this set here, and I believe they were from Tonic, but I'm not sure anymore because I've lost the original packaging, but this is the size I used. So they are nesting dies, and you can basically use any shape, really. You don't need to have exactly the same ones. Any nesting shape that has some sort of frame like this. The frame is relatively big, so the aperture that this is going to cut is 4.5 to, on the longest, yeah, 4.5 inches high and a good 3 inches wide. And the funny bit is, you will cut the frame like this, and at the same time you have the background, because the bit in the smaller one is going to be your background. So I have used this. Then I have used a couple of snowflake dies in different sizes, so a large, medium and a smaller one. Cut 2 of each to create this type of flowers. I made one here and made one here. So this is 6 die cuts, 2 of each. So 2 big ones, 2 medium ones, 2 small ones, and then just layer them and glue them together, and you have your flower. What I also used was this Merry Christmas die. Like so, Merry Christmas die. This die actually is not from Stampin' Up, but it's also a different brand, but I'm sure you can use any die you like. Happy Birthday, for example, would work as well. So but this is what I used, and I've also used this because this is exactly my 5 inches wide, so it fits beautifully into this one here. So 5 inches wide snowflake die kind of thing that I used, and I die cut too. And you would need various types of you need plain acetate as well for the lid of your box, and you need for your frame you need a blue, and for the flowers and this I'm going to use a slightly lighter mirror cardstock. As you can see, it's very nice. And another thing that is very helpful is this stick adhesive. I bought it, I believe from the range. What it does is you adhere it to the backside of your mirror cardstock before you die cut it, and that will give your die cut a sticky backside, and then it's very easy to put it in place. So this is what it is, and I'm going to use this as well. So let's get cracking. Already cut my sets of stars, snowflakes, to make my flowers. So it's 2 big ones, 2 medium-sized ones, and 2 small ones that layer on top of each other. We're going to glue them together just in the center with a bit of glue, and set them aside to dry. The next thing we would need to do is, this is our acetate, and we need to cut the aperture, or like the frame, if you want to. put it like this. So It helps actually because it's very difficult to see, especially on the white background. So these are my 2 score lines, and I want to place this centered, so I need to eyeball it and measure roughly. So we have 2 centimeters, 5, 6, 7. So this is more or less centered in the middle. And then to my score lines, this is 2, almost 2, almost 2. So roughly like so. Make sure that and you use the smaller one to cut your aperture. So I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine, and then I'll show you what we do next. So I've run this through, and as you can see, I secured my die with a bit of sellotape, and I'll just take this off, and then let's see what's happening here. Let's get rid of that. Here we go, and carefully pull it out. So we've got our aperture. We have this pretty bit. I'm going to keep because I'm going to use it again, not on this project though, but nearly. So we have got this aperture now, and we want to cut a frame that is slightly bigger than this. So this is what we're going to do next, but we're not going to cut it on the acetate. We're going to cut it from mirror cardstock, and I want to use a slightly deeper blue, so I'm going to cut myself. Actually, let me just see where I would, because I try to save as much of my cardstock as possible. So I'm just going to make a mark like here and here. I'm quickly going to cut this bit, and then we need to work with the other stuff. So here we go. This is, if I haven't mismeasured it, I have mismeasured it. Look at me. Okay, I'm going to do this again. Oh dear me. All right, this is big enough. Okay, do it again. I try to save cardstock, and instead of saving it, I'm wasting it. Great. That's not what I planned to do. All right, here we go. Yes, big enough. So, but before we're going to arrange this and die cut this like so, I'm going to add here my sticky stuff to the back side. So again, I'm just going to figure out the right size, cut it out with a scissor like so. Then it normally peels off easily, but again, camera effect, won't do it now. Wrong side. Oh dear me. All right, sorry for that. So I'm just going to glue this on here, just by eyeballing it really. Pull the other end off. And use anything really. All right. So next thing, I'm going to use my magnetic plate. Where are my dies? Here they are. Okay. I'm happy like so. I'm not worried about these little bits because I'm going to rub them off in a minute, like the bit of glue that's on my mirror cardstock. Don't worry, I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to run this through my machine and I'll be back. So I'm back and I'm going to use a bit of paper towel like this. And I'm going to use methylated spirit to get rid of my stains on my die cut. So I just done that before. It works brilliant on mirror cardstock. Just takes it out without taking the color out. So that's how I clean it, and then I'm happy with it. Smells a bit, but you can't smell that because it's not recording smell. So if I take my dies out, I now have this beautiful background which is sticky from the back side, and I have my frame which also will stick to my acetate very well. And I'm going back in. Where is the wet bit? Here it is. Get some more. I'll just quickly I want to make sure that it's really in perfect condition. So I'm happy with this. And then this corner up there is also a bit okay. And I'm happy with this. As you can see, it's still drying, but once it's gone, it's all shiny. All right, here we go. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your piece of acetate and you are going to place this exactly on your aperture, and because it sticks from the back side, it will be very easy to stick it in place, and it will sit there very neatly. No smudging, no shifting, no nothing. I love this stuff. It's really great. It's a bit of a hassle to put it on really, but it gives you the neatest results. So here we go. So I'm putting this in place even before I put my acetate on my card front, just for the perfect fit really. Then I turn it around, use my bone folder and rub it down as well as I can to give it full adhesion, especially on these little bits here. You have to give it a good rub. And this is how you get your frame on, and it fits beautifully, doesn't it? So this is how I did this, and this will stick to here later. But the next thing we need to do is just going to put my little thingies away here. Oh, it's getting worse at the minute. Come on, get on here, boys and girls. Get in that card. There you go. Okay, so the next bit we need to do is really use a sponge dauber and go for the colors that you want to use on your background. And I'm going to definitely use Coastal Cabana, which is a very nice muted color. And I am going to use the blueberry something, and I might also go for this light blue, balmy blue. So what you want to do is just pick up some color and start rubbing it on randomly. There's no right or wrong here. and this is what I love about it. It will give you a random result. You can just mix the tones how you like it. And then I'm just going to rub it all over the place. And then I'm going to take the paper towel and take the excess off so that the imprinted background, like the design that's on it, really stands out. So this is very easy, very quick. These type of papers are gorgeous. And this is my background already done. So just put these away. Still brand new, so very tight. Okay, so what we have got so far is this. So the next thing you would need to do is you need to find where this is going to sit on your cardstock, most likely, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a very light pencil mark here and here, giving me an idea where this is going to sit. So all we need to do is we peel the backing off, which is very thin, so a pokey tool comes in very handy when you work with this kind of stuff. Peel it off and aim for your marks. Once you've put it in place, give it a good rub so it adheres really, really well. It has moved, I don't believe it. Sorry, I had to cut this out because there was a bit of swearing going on. So again, you place it in place, you hold it in place before you turn it over and rub it. So here you go. Now it sits where you want it, and as you can see, when you slide this under, it'll sit nicely right under your frame. I'm also going to do the same die cutting process with my Merry Christmas. So I have to stick my Merry Christmas and also my snowflake garland, which is going to sit here. And I'm also going to cut the second one that sits here. Also needs to be backed with the sticky stuff. So this is the next thing to do. And I'm quickly going to die cut these two elements before we assemble the rest. Okay, I've done a bit of die cutting and I've already glued my flowers together. They are currently setting here because I used Tombow wet glue. So it's faster if you use hot glue. So before you assemble anything else, what you want to do is you want to put your two bits in here and you just trim the ends to a perfect fit here. So that this sits on here, and because I've die cut it with the sticky stuff at the back side again, this will stick down beautifully to my it's just a bit fiddly to peel it off. There we go. So I am going to place this down here at the bottom. So this is the first part, and then we're going to do the second one. Let me just see how it fits, because it's much easier putting it in place before you assemble the acetate around it. So peel this off. I just love this. This is so great because before it was always a bit of a mess, and then your wet glue would squirt out and ooze out. It was disgusting. So I love this. It's really good. So I'm going to give it a good rub. Yes. And now we're going to do the same with our Merry Christmas. This is going to be a bit more tricky to peel off because this is very, very thin and fragile. But we're getting there eventually. Need to pick this out. And this is a bit fiddly, but I want it done, so I'm going to get it off. Alright, am I happy? That needs to come out. Sticky everywhere? Yes. Alright, this is my Merry Christmas. And this will go right across here. And I'll stick it down like so. Turn it over. Give it a good rub. Love this. So the next thing we need to do is the back side of this piece of card front, like the mat that we have been designing on and working on, you put a strip of 1/2 inch width of double-sided sticky tape down like so, and cut it, and you do exactly the same on this side. Like so. Okay, and this is what's going to happen. You take your acetate and you are going to slide this in and then put it down. So this peels off. And in order to position it the right way, you need to push with your right hand against the border here so that you really have it aligned nicely, and then you give it a good rub so that it adheres very well. So this is what you have on the first side, and you do exactly the same with this one, and this pops up like so, as you can see. So this is going to be a bit more tricky because it's already starting to round up. So I'm going to do it this way. Just make sure that you push it against it. Then really rub it well, like so. And this is what you have at this point. You want to give it a nice rounded shape. Just check, like when you look from so. Okay, now what's left to do is I'm going to put my flower in which is going to sit here last minute because I'm going to use hot glue for this, so there's no need to put this in right now. Now what you need to do is this whole set piece of card front needs to be adhered to your card base, and as it is exactly 5 by 7 as is your card, it'll fit beautifully. So what you can do is you just go and lay down tape on your card front like so. Try to be really close to the edge, because if there is no glue there, it will not sit very, how do you call that, snug, and we want a very neat fitting, so you have to be very, very close to the edge with your tape to have that sitting beautifully in place. What you could do is, like, you can still make an insert for your card, or you can stamp some snowflakes inside, however you like it. It's best to do this before you've adhered the dome-shaped front panel, because once that's in place it's getting trickier to stamp anything inside. So finish your card from inside off before you put the front on. And this is also one reason, as you will see in a minute, why it's wise not to put the 3D snowflake flowers in yet, because once you've laid all this tape down and peeled it off to adhere the front panel, you will still need to rub with your bone folder, and a 3D element will be in the way. So just peel all this off. And here we go. Peel this off. Oops, I'm already stuck to it. Very sticky. Last bit coming off here. Now make sure before you glue it down, so this is how I want my card, and this is how this goes on. So you want to aim for the correct position of it. All right, and that's what I meant when I said you need to rub, and that works much better if there's no flower yet in it. So you want to adhere your dome-shaped card front, give it a good rub, especially here and here, and that's almost done. Looks good, isn't it? I love it. And the last thing to do is really like prop up. I'm going to use, I hope this is dry yet because I only did it just now. Very difficult to see the individual bits here. Just like propping them up a bit. This one, and that one. So this is the first level, if I'm not mistaken. Very difficult to see because it's so shiny and reflects in the light of my workplace lamp here, which you always see as I have these round bulbs, like not round, like they are circle shaped, like a ring bulb or something, and they always reflect on all my pictures. As soon as I use something sparkly, the lamp reflects on it. Very difficult to take pictures. You might have seen the reflection of my workplace light on my work or in my videos. I'll stop recording there. What I was about to explain is we assemble these flowers. So I've just used the time to fire up my hot glue gun, and I just pop this in, and I want it sitting somewhere here. I like it like so. So all I do is add some hot glue and slide it in and put it down, and I think this looks gorgeous. The second flower is for the box that we still have to make. But I'm quickly going to finish off this once the hot glue gun is hot, and then I'm going to explain to you how I made the box. Our card is 5 by 7, so the bottom of the box already needs to be slightly bigger than 5 by 7, and that's why I'm going to make the card, the box for the card 1/8 of an inch bigger, so that it will be easy to get it in and out. And I'm quickly going to cut the white cardstock and tell you the measurements in a minute. We will need 2 pieces of cardstock for our box. One is for the box itself, which is 9/1/8 by 11/1/8, and you score at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches. And this gives you the very basic shape, and you're going to cut it like so. And it is not a reinforced box as such, but you will just need to cut the flap like so, wedge it a bit, and you do the other side. It's a very basic box, it's just about the measurements. And then you cut the flaps on the opposing side like so. Here we go. And we wedge it. So this is our box, and this is going to be our lid, and the lid is 1/16 of an inch bigger than the bottom, so that the lid fits snugly over it. And so this measures 11 3/16 of an inch by 9 3/16 of an inch. And you score at 1 and 2 inches on all 4 sides. So when you rotate it, you score at 1 and 2, you rotate it, you score at 1 and 2, rotate, score at 1 and 2. The next thing you need to do is you are going to cut your flaps. So you are going to cut to the second score line. This is the second score line. And then you're coming in from this side, wedge it, take this excess bit off, wedge these flaps, and this lid is going to be reinforced, and you do this on the opposing side as well, like so. Take this excess off, wedge it, and wedge it, and then you turn it to the opposing side, opposite, okay, and you do exactly the same. So you cut up to the second score line, and then you wedge this, take this excess piece off, and you wedge this, and you cut this. Now my lid has a window with clear acetate, so what you need to do is, once you've finished cutting this, you need to put in the marks where you're going to cut out for your window. So before I'm going to do this, I'm going to tidy up my workspace, but this is your lid that you're going to get from what I just told you. And just get rid of all this, bin it. So this is the outside of my box. So I'm going to the inside of my box, and it's a bit difficult to see, but these are my inner score lines, and I'm going to use a ruler that is transparent like so, and then I'm going to align it. How far do I want it? I think I'm going to go for 1/2 inch. So you very gently, so I'm aligning my ruler. That's why you need a grid ruler like so, and it's slightly difficult to see where the... Right, so I'm back, and this is my lines put in with a pencil, and going to mark the frame that I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to place my ruler alongside it and then use my craft knife, and you have to be really precise with this, and cut your window for the acetate out. Here we go. Try to be really very neat and precise. That will give the box a really professional look and finish. And all that's left to do is cut a piece of acetate and glue it to the back side of your lid before you assemble your lid, and that's your lid done. So here we go. I can still use this. So this is what we've got so far. At the minute this is relatively unstable because the acetate is missing, so you want to measure your gap depending on how wide you've left this. So I've gone for 5/8 of an inch, but that's up to you how small or large you're going to make your window. And I'm quickly going to measure. So I want a piece of acetate 7 by 5. So I'm going to cut my acetate now and come back to you. Alright, so here's my acetate. As you can see, this is going to fit nicely behind this, and I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape, which I'm going to apply right next to the edge here. Right close to the edge, you want to glue it down. And the last bit, next bit is to peel it, and then just put your acetate in and rub it down really well. This hasn't adhered well here. Oh dear me, here we go. Here we go. So when you aim to place this, there you go. Place it down, give it a good rub. And now that the lid has a beautiful window, you can go ahead and burnish all your marks, score lines, and assemble the box. That's basically it. So I'm quickly going to do that on camera for you, but that's all it needs. So the next bit, I'm going to use wet glue. So the strips that have these two flaps here can be glued down already, like so. There we go. And then these bits come in here. So this is my lid almost assembled. I'm just going to, as I said, this is my lid, and the flower I've glued on with hot glue. Really nice. My window is in, and the remaining bit is the other box, the box part, the bottom part really. So the other piece of cardstock, we're just quickly going to burnish and fold all the score lines. Still have something fiddling about here that I don't want. And here we go. So this is how this box goes together. Problems here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry, I apologize, but my camera keeps running hot and then stops recording, so I'll quickly finish this. We were about to glue the box together, so just a bit of glue here, just a bit of glue there, and then I'll head off to the internet and buy a new phone. This is terrible. I'm fed up with this. It's almost 2 years old. It's given up its ghost really. All right, just put your box together like so. We've already assembled the lid. We've put the flower down with hot glue, the snowflake flower. This is the box. This is the beautiful card, which fits perfectly. This is the lid we made, and it's 1/16 of an inch wider than the box, and also fits perfectly, very snug fit. And yeah, this is my project, and I hope you liked it, and you will be able to follow this tutorial, which is not perfect, but never mind. Thanks for watching. First of all, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The button is there in the corner, and in the description box of this video you find the link to my Facebook group. Feel free to join. Everybody's welcome. I was about to tell you thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit my links to my social media pages, all in the description box of this video. And thanks for watching, and sorry for the glitches here, and have a very nice crafting session, and see you soon again. Thanks and bye.